What's up, everybody? Tyler Rogahn with Powerwash Academy. Today, I'm gonna be using Rust Remover Plus to get this job done. Come back here and check out what we're working with. So we've got one other spot on the house that's got some clay staining. Rain has run off of the house and splashed up when there wasn't any grass there, causing the mud to splash up on the house. It stayed there for years and created a clay stain. Not uncommon in these parts, but it's really not too big of a problem to remove. And so as we can see, all along this one section here, we've got brown coloration in the mortar and the brick. A lot of the time, if you're seeing this on a house, it's not a bad idea if you've got a ladder to take a peek up in the gutter and see if it's clogged. If they get totally clogged or they're not flowing out properly, they may not come outside when it's raining, so they may never notice it. But if that's overflowing and splashing down on the ground, that's what's creating the problem. So it's not a bad idea to double check those gutters, give a little added service to your customer, and if it's not too big of a deal, go ahead and blow it out for them. What we're gonna be doing to rinse, we don't really require a whole lot of pressure for this type of work. So we are gonna be using a deluxe unit, puts out 5.5 gallons a minute. Won't be needing the heat today. I'm just gonna be using a basic pump up sprayer from Home Depot. I find them to be pretty economical and dependable. If you rinse them out pretty well after you're done with them, they'll last quite a while. Generally, we get about 5 to 6 months out of them until certain weak spots on the pump start to fail. So I'll show you those and you'll be seeing me spray the chemical down with those, but pretty basic today. You can use a power washer to rinse, you can use a pump up sprayer to lay it down. I went ahead and ran my hose around to the side of the house. We're gonna try to address these clay stains on the side of the house for the customer. It's not uncommon to see that, so I like to typically keep a gallon or two of that on the truck. For if something pops up unexpected, you can do those little extra favors or an extra add-on for making a little extra money on the job. So I've got my same mix. I'm going 2 to 1, same thing we used on the pool deck. I'm going to start my pressure washer up, lightly mist the surface of the bricks, and then I'm gonna put an application on the house, give it about 3 or 4 minutes and see if it's rinsing off of there. A lot of the time it'll break it free where you can wash that off. Some of the time you have to wait for the entire process or the chemical to slowly lighten it. So we don't know till we find out, and we're gonna find out right now. It's a little more than a light mist, but that's okay. So the general rule of thumb is to not be applying high pressure to brick and mortar. I am gonna be applying a little more pressure than I typically would. But I'm still gonna be keeping a close eye on it. If you haven't done this a lot to where you know that fine line to where you're crossing over into risky territory of etching or knocking loose any mortar, then you may just wait the process out and see if the product will bleach it out on its own. And but that being said, I'd like to think I'm fairly well versed in this, and I think that I can do it safely. So if you're confident you can do that and you can do it without causing any problems, then have at it. Okay, I think that did take off a lot of it. One more treatment and it should be gone. When I'm working around glass, I gotta be careful to keep in mind which direction the wind's coming from so that a gust doesn't come up and blow it on the glass. If you do get some of the Rust Remover Plus on the glass, you need to immediately rinse it off. And if you're gonna be working around glass, I'd suggest keeping a wet rag on you. And if you do spray a little bit on the glass, immediately wipe it down with that wet rag and spread it out so you don't have any little dots drying on the surface causing an etch. I think that's gonna be pretty darn good when it's all dried up. Okay, so I wet down that whole area, not just the area we're working on, so I can get a better idea as to when they're both wet, if we've got a color difference in them, and I think they're pretty close. Once it dries completely, I think it's gonna look good. All right, there it is, another successful job with Powerwash Academy. Thanks again for watching with us, guys. I'm gonna show you some before and afters of the process, and you can make your own judgment, but I think it turned out great. Do appreciate you guys watching. If you appreciate what you see on the channel, please drop a comment down, like the channel, and subscribe to the channel. We'll let you know when another video comes out. And once again, thanks for watching with us.